We have here the relics of Saints Louis and Zelie Martin and their daughter Saint Therese of Lisieux. As a Carmelite family, we asked permission to have these relics in Ireland to coincide with the World Meeting of Families. They are a family of saints, the first family of saints recognised as such by the Church. They were a very ordinary family. Louis and Zelie would have liked to join religious life, but it wasn't to happen for them. Louis because he didn't have Latin, and Zelie because of her health problems. And they married and had 9 children, 4 of whom sadly died in childhood. And in her letter, Zelie speaks of the pain of loss of the 4 children. They looked after their children very well. They educated them. 2 of the girls, the older girls, were sent to a boarding school, and the parents loved to spend a lot of time with the children, even if it meant being up late at night to carry on their own work. Louis and Zelie were very devoted to each other, as their writings, their letters indicate. They speak of the missing each other so much when they were apart. They had their own share of difficulties. As I say, 4 children died in early, 3 in their first year and 1 at Helen when she was 5 years of age. There were a lot of sickness. Leonie, the 3rd girl, suffered severe eczema all her life. She also had learning difficulties, was bullied by their nanny, expelled from school, and literally broke her mother's heart, and there seemed to be no future for her. But Zelie's prayers brought that to a successful conclusion. Zelie herself sadly died at 45 of breast cancer, leaving Louis with 5 youngish girls, the eldest being only 18. Her death took an awful toll on Therese, who developed really psychosomatic illnesses and went to death's door. The family prayed to Our Lady of Victories, and Therese had an experience where she said Our Lady smiled at her, and she attributed her healing to that smile, and that statue has become known as Our Lady of the Smile. The girls eventually felt called to Carmelite life, the older ones, Mary and Pauline, and later Therese at the age of 15 got permission to enter. That was particularly difficult for Louis. He talked of the pain that letting her go meant, and that only God could give you the strength to accept something like that. He himself had 2 strokes and seems to have had a kind of breakdown and ended up in a psychiatric hospital, which was a pretty horrific experience. Zelie eventually took him home and looked after him as he developed dementia, and nursed him basically for the last years of his life. After he died, she too went into Carmel in Lisieux, and all the photographs we have of Saint Therese were her work. She was a very accomplished photographer and artist. The other girl, Leonie, had an interesting life too. As I was saying earlier, she was bullied and had all kinds of problems, but she tried first of all the Poor Clares, but that didn't work out. And then she tried the Visitation Sisters, where her aunt, Zelie's sister, had been, and after 3 attempts settled there and went on to live a very holy life. In fact, of all the other girls apart from Therese, she's the only one whose cause for canonization has been introduced. Many families, particularly with troubles, go to Cong, where her remains lie today, to pray to her. So we hope that in the coming years she too will be a saint. As I said, they were a very ordinary family, and that's why I think they speak to families today. They had many of the experiences couples have: illness among children, losing children, sickness, business difficulties at times, and so on. And I think their canonization in 2015 made 2 important statements. One, that marriage is a very special vocation. Marriage and parenting are a very special and important vocation. And secondly, that one doesn't have to do anything spectacular in life to be holy. It's about doing the ordinary things and doing them with love. And I think what characterized the Martin family was their love for each other and their love for their God.